تلنگر با کلاله طبیب زاده.
This is the life right here, man. They said weed wouldn't lead to harder drugs.
You ready? How you feeling? Not.
They lied. Find out the truth about weed. Drugfreeworld.org.
سلام به بینندگان و شنوندگان عزیز. من کلاله طبیب زاده هستم. به برنامه تلنگر یا ویک آپ کال خوش اومدید. از دوستانی که قبلا بیننده یا شنونده ما بودن سپاسگزارم، مجددا خوش آمد میگم و از کسانی که اولین بار این برنامه رو میبینن یا گوش میکنن مرسی که با ما هستید. امیدوارم که از این برنامه خوشتون بیاد و براتون مفید واقع بشه، چون واقعا نیت و هدف اصلی من از اجرای این برنامه اینه که بتونم اطلاعات و ابزاری رو در دسترستون قرار بدم، حقایق، داده های درست رو مخصوصا در مورد مواد مخدر که بتونید در زندگیتون ازش استفاده بکنید، بهره ببرید، یا اینکه اگه کسی رو تو دور و برتون میشناسین که میتونه از این مطالب استفاده بکنه به اونا اینا رو نشون بدین. چون واقعا یکی از باورهای اصلی من این هست که تو زندگی یه داده هر چقدر هوشمندانه، هر چقدر خوب به نظر بیاد، اگه نشه ازش استفاده کرد هیچ فایده‌ای نداره یا دونستنش چه فایده میتونه داشته باشه. من هر هفته سعی میکنم علاوه بر این اطلاعات و داده ها مهمونایی رو به این برنامه دعوت بکنم که با تعریف داستان زندگیشون و تجربه هاشون یا خودمون بتونیم چیز یاد بگیریم یا بتونیم به افرادی که شاید اونا بتونن از اینا استفاده بکنن به اونا بگیم گوش بکنن یا اینا رو ببینن. چون همونطوری که در مستند ما DVD The Truth About Drugs، حقیقت در مورد دارو و مواد مخدر، یکی از بچه‌ها گفت لازم نیست که ما هر چیز بدی رو خودمون تجربه کنیم تا ببینیم چه جوریه. مثلا لازم نیست که خودمون یه تصادف ماشین داشته باشیم تا بدونیم تصادف ماشین چه بلایی میتونه سر آدم بیاره. میشه از تجربیات دیگران استفاده کرد. مخصوصا وقتی موضوع مواد مخدر میشه، دونستن حقیقت اهمیتش خیلی خیلی بالاتر میره، به خاطر اینکه یه تصمیمیه که ممکنه که اول به نظر خیلی اینسنت به نظر بیاد که هیچ ضرری نداره، حالا همه پات میکشن، همه ماریجوانا استفاده میکنن، یه چیز طبیعیه، ولی همون اول امتحان کردن میتونه راه زندگیتون رو کاملا عوض بکنه و به یه مسیری برین که دیگه نتونین برگردین و نه تنها زندگی خودتون رو خراب بکنه، زندگی دور و بریاتون، فامیلتون و دوستاتون رو کاملا از بین ببره. و برای همینه که من با این برنامه حقیقت در مورد دارو و مواد مخدر حدود 8 سال کار میکنم که این یک برنامه هستش که از طریق بنیاد دنیای آری از مواد مخدر که یک سازمان غیر انتفاعی که مرکزش تو لس آنجلسه ولی بیشتر از 100 تا شعبه در سراسر جهان داره تهیه شده. این برنامه جامع ترین برنامه غیر دولتی آموزشی و پیشگیری از مصرف مواد مخدر در جهانه و به تمام مطالبش که شامل این DVD هست و 14 تا بوکلت کتابچه در مورد حقیقت، در مورد ماریجوانا، الکل، کوکائین، شیشه و غیره و همشون به 22 زبان مختلف از جمله فارسی ترجمه شده که من هر هفته سعی میکنم یکی دو تا از این فصل‌ها رو براتون بذارم و تمام اینها در سایت آینه هم قرار خواهند گرفت. من هفته پیش یک مهمونی داشتم به نام دیوید سانچز که یکی از دوستای خوب من هست که در طول کار با این بنیاد دنیای آری از مواد مخدر باش آشنا شدم. ما با همدیگه به خیلی مدارس رفتیم، با خیلی بچه‌ها صحبت کردیم و اصلا داستان زندگیش خیلی جالبه که چجوری تونست با اون سختی‌ها و مشکلایی که داشتش غلبه بکنه، اعتیاد، زندان رفتن و زندگیشو از این رو به اون ور بکنه و الان به صدها نفر، هزاران نفر که معتادن کمک میکنه و الان مدیر بزرگترین خانه سلامت یا خانه امن در لس آنجلس هست. این خونه های گروهی هستن برای زندگی افرادی که از اعتیاد رهایی پیدا میکنن و شرایط و قوانین خاص خودشو داره. مثلا بعد تا یه ساعتهای معینی به خونه برگردن، در انجام کار خونه کمک بکنن و به صورت تصادفی آزمایش اعتیاد هم میدن. و خیلی از افراد بعد از درمان اعتیاد یا بعد از مراکز بازپروری به این خونه ها میان برای اینکه بتونن راحت تر به زندگی جدید عادت بکنن و خوب بگیرن و میتونن چند ماه اینجا تو این خونه باشن یا حتی میتونن چند سال باشن، بستگی به این داره که کی آماده میشن که بتونن دوباره برگردن به جامعه. و گفتم من دیوید انقدر داستان زندگی و کاری که داره میکنه و کرده جالب هست و شگفت انگیزه که خواستم 2 تا برنامه رو باهاش داشته باشم. هفته پیش باهام بود و امروز هم باهامون هست. به علاوه 2 تا از افرادی که تو این خونه سلامت، تو این خونه الان هستن و داره به اونا کمک میکنه. من تا اونجایی که بتونم سعی میکنم فارسی رو ترجمه بکنم، ولی متاسفانه ممکنه که به خوبی نتونم ترجمه بکنم، ولی نهایت سعی خودم رو خواهم کرد. Hi David.
Hi Coco.
Hi. So I basically just again explained to them about the program, about the truth about drugs, the importance of finding the truth before you do anything.
Absolutely.
For that very first time, people say it's innocent, nothing is going to happen. So I talked about that. Again, I talked about you, how you were my guest last week, and because you have such an amazing story, I asked you to come for 2 weeks. And I'm so glad you accepted.
Oh, thank you.
So why don't you go ahead, and I also said about your run the largest sober living home in Los Angeles and how you help people come off of addiction, and how you've brought 2 of the people that you're helping right now to be our guest today. So why don't you go ahead and again say a little bit about yourself and introduce the 2 other guests that we have.
Okay, so as she said, my name is David Sanchez. I am one of the co-founders of the largest single address sober living in Los Angeles. We have a facility with 85 beds. We get to help people that are struggling and their addiction, people that are homeless, people that have mental issues. We house all the time, any type of person that actually needs help getting off the streets with their addiction, anything like that. So I've brought 2 of my clients here that have struggled with addiction, have struggled with the gang life, being part of gang violence and stuff like that. This gentleman to my right is Oscar Aporto.
Hi, Oscar. Thank you for being here.
Oh, thank you.
And the gentleman next to him is Maurice Kalinowski.
Hi, Maurice.
Hello.
Thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Yes, I know it's not easy sometimes to talk about, your past, but I really appreciate you guys being here and being willing to talk about that.
Always.
Okay, go ahead.
So I brought these 2 because they have a story. They are in my facility. They're struggling hard to keep moving forward in life with the addiction that's constantly creeping up on them, with the being involved in certain types of activities that they've only known in their life. They have a similar message that I have. They have a similar past that I have, and I thought it would be great to bring these 2 over here so you could kind of hear their story also.
I appreciate that. I always love hearing stories because it helps me when I talk to other kids, because I never did drugs myself, so I really don't know what it could be like. That's why it's good for me to learn also. So again, thank you for being here. So Oscar, can you go ahead and tell me about yourself and also how old you are, because I think some people find it interesting,
All right.
Anyways.
My name is Oscar. 45 years old. I come from a gang lifestyle. I did drugs all my life. I grew up around that environment. My brother, he's the one that introduced me to it as far as being around him, because he used to shoot up on heroin.
Oh my
So,
God. So was it an older brother?
Yeah.
Okay.
And so I would always see him getting high. He'll be with the homies. the homeboys, and I'll be right there. I mean, just watching my cartoons, and I'll see him with a needle in his arm. I'm like, just looking at him, and I don't know what's going on, but I'm curious.
How old were you?
Man, it's all my life. And he's been doing it before I was born, so as a toddler to my teens to the day he died.
He died?
Yeah, he died.
Oh, wow. How old was he when he died?
I think he was 51.
Okay.
Yeah, he died of cancer.
Okay.
But
Somebody's phone is ringing. It's okay.
sorry about that.
That's all right.
Um,
Well, sorry to hear about your brother.
yeah, I mean, it happens. I mean, I was surprised because we all thought he was gonna die of drugs, but his body broke down, and turn it off. Sorry about that.
That's okay.
But he made it. He made it as far as living to that age. You know what I mean, he outlived a lot of his friends. Everyone thought he was gonna be the first one to go from his pack. I mean, his little group of friends that he had, and they thought he was gonna die of overdose. But see, what happened was that he learned about the drugs. You know what I mean, growing up, and then when he found out about his health, he started taking care of himself, and he got more involved. You know, he did some programs, and so he started obeying his body
Right.
like he should, and he lived a little bit longer.
Yeah, but I think that what I think the thing with drugs is, if a lot of people think, well, once I quit, it's gonna be okay.
No,
But it does,
It's
a
not.
lot of this stuff stays in your system, and it does
Yeah.
do damage. And of course, you can, once you quit, you become clean, you can have a healthy life, and of course, it definitely helps. But a lot of the times too, it's made some damages that
Yeah, it does.
sometimes is irreversible. I guess depends on how long, what you've done, and all that stuff. And a lot of young people, I think what I noticed with young kids is like they think they're invincible. They think they're going to live forever, but they don't know you're going to be 40 years old before you know it, and what you're doing now is going to affect you when you're 40 years old.
yeah, that's true. Because I know when I sobered up, I got sicker. My body wasn't functioning right because it was craving the drug.
Right.
And then not just that, just like you said, your body, and your inside, it gets all messed up.
Right.
And someone told me that my body has to break down in order to heal itself.
Right.
And I found out the hard way that that's true.
Right. That's true.
But eventually, like everything else, there's a happy ending. I mean,
Right.
and,
Well, not only that, but as a youth, when you start smoking marijuana, drinking alcohol, your brain doesn't develop the way it's supposed to develop.
Right.
So it starts thinking that your body needs this stuff to actually survive, and that's when we have the physical dependencies part of the drug. So, I mean, I got people in my facility that are, my age and have the mentality of a 20-year-old,
Right.
or are 40 and have the mentality of a 10-year-old,
Right.
because of all the drugs that they've pumped into their system, and their brain never really got a chance to fully develop into a normal adult brain.
Right.
And all these other different things, speech impediments, eyesight, hearing, the way that they deal with situations, anger issues, all these different issues happen when people start using drugs at a young age, and they never get to develop the right way.
Right.
And all these different things. And that's not even including, liver damage and pancreas damage and heart failure and, all this kind of stuff that happens to people when they start to get older, and the damage that's done from the drugs starts really affecting I'm literally waiting for this to happen to me.
No, it's not gonna happen to you.
Because all the drugs that I've done,
Yeah.
I feel like I'm pretty healthy, but I know in the back of my head, because I see it all day long, because all I deal with is people that are on drugs.
Right.
So I see it all day long and every day, that, yeah, he stayed off of drugs for, 5 years, but then after 5 years, he passed away from congestive heart failure. Why? Because he had so much drugs in his system, and, the drugs can come out of your urine, but it stays in your blood and it stays in your cells.
Right.
And so, years later, it starts to affect you.
Right.
You know what I mean? And you don't even know it. And that's when people just start passing away because of all the drugs that they've done in the past.
Right. But you have a lot of more work to do, so you're not going anywhere.
Oh, I do have a lot of work.
Yeah. Okay, so let me just translate real briefly and quickly what we just went over. So آسکر گفت از کوچیکی اصلا همش دور و بر مواد بود و برادر بزرگش بود که گفت از ما که چشام باز کردم دیدمش داشت هروئین استفاده میکرد با آمپول و برادرش بود که معرفیش کرد به مواد و الان 45 سالشه و الان Oscar, how long have you been clean?
I've been clean since July of last year.
Last year. Okay, so almost a year.
Almost a year.
Okay, great. Good job.
Thank you.
و تقریبا الان 1 ساله که پاک هست و صحبت کردیم که برادرش در سن 51 سالگی فوت کرد و داشتیم صحبت میکردیم که این مواد وقتی هم آدم پاک بشه ولی وقتی از سن کوچیکی مخصوصا آدم شروع میکنه رو بدن آدم اونقدر اثر میذاره که حتی وقتی هم که اعتیاد کنار میذارین لزوما همه چیزا پاک نمیشه چون این اثرایی که رو مغز میاد وقتی از کوچیک آدم شروع میکنه پات مصرف کردن یا مواد دیگه این اثرایی که رو قلب میذاره رو کبد میذاره رو کلیه میذاره رو ریه میذاره یه اثرایی هستش که میمونن و خیلی سخت میشه کاملا از بین بردشون اگه بشه کاملا از بین بردشون برای همین من حرفی که خودم خیلی به بچه‌ها میزنم میگم خیلی بچه‌ها فکر میکنن که هیچ وقت نمیمیرن یا هیچ وقت بزرگ نمیشن و 14 15 سالگی فکر میکنن که حالا کوتاه ما 30 سالمون بشه 40 سالمون بشه میخوام الان فان داشته باشیم در صورتی که بهشون میگم تا چشم به هم بزنین 40 سالتون شده و کاری که الان دارین میکنین رو اعضای بدنتون خیلی تاثیرای مختلفی میتونه بذاره مخصوصا یه چیزی که دیوید گفت که درست هست این که پاد مصرف کردن از سن جوانی رو سلولای مغز رو میتونه از بین ببره و شما این سلولای مغز رو دیگه نمیتونین دوباره به دست بیارید و برای همینه که هر کاری میخواید بکنید حقیقت رو پیدا کنید مخصوصا مواد مخدر که ببینید این ریسک این کارو ریسکش رو داره یا نداره که به حرف دوستاتون حالا اینجا برادر یا هر کسی دیگه گوش میکنید که میخواین ببینید اون زندگی رو میخواین داشته باشین یا نداشته باشین So Oscar, so you told about your brother. What drug did you start with, and how old were you when you started?
My first drug was weed.
Was weed? Okay.
Yeah. Then after that, I just went from weed, LSD, PCP. I was drinking. I did crystal meth, coke. I did some heroin. You name it, I did it, pretty much.
Wow. So, and how old were you when you started weed?
Man, to tell you the truth, I was between, I want to say 12, 13, between, yeah,
Right.
12, 13. That's what we were just talking about the other day. I wasn't even sure. I mean, that's how long ago. And the drugs messed me up. But I know it's in between that time. I mean.
Okay. So حدود 12 13 سال گفتم پرسیدم چند سالگی بود شروع کرد مواد مخدر و با چی شروع کرد گفت با پاد شروع کرد وقتی 12 13 سالش بود ولی یادش نمیاد درست و گفتش که یک از دلایلی که خوب یادم نمیاد اینه که این مواد مخدر تو سیستم آدم حافظه رو انقدر به هم میزنن که مثلا بعد راجبش فکر بکنم باید مطمئن بشم 12 سالم بود 13 سالم بود و شیشه استفاده کرد LSD و هروئین. So can you tell me a little bit more about what your life was like on drugs? What happened?
When in the beginning of my drug abuse, it wasn't really abuse to me. It was more like it was something that I had a lot of fun. I enjoyed it.
Okay.
But see, I enjoyed it for a while because I was one of the ones that I could never do it by myself. I mean, like I always did it at parties with friends. with women, during sex, you name it. Whenever it is, if it was there, I was doing it. You know what I mean?
Right.
But so, anyways, I started selling it. We're cooking it for a while, crystal meth.
Crystal meth.
That's the one drug that I was more into.
Okay.
And when it was brought up to the area where I live at, it was brought up by me and a couple of guys at the time in the early '90s, and because we had some white guy who was a biker, but he was a main cook, and the city that I lived at that time, it was just heroin, coke, and rocks. Crystal wasn't even around.
Wow.
But this guy, he brought it to my neighborhood, and we started just batching up crystal meth.
Crystal meth.
And so back then, the ingredients to that drug was top grade. It's not like it is now. I mean, everything's all cut up, it's all messed up. It's not the same.
Oh my God.
But in the beginning, it was like close to pure. I mean,
Wow.
and we had a good cook. And so we had pounds and pounds, and it was free. And
Because you were cooking it.
yeah, it was
Wow.
there. And so we started partying on it, and at first, that's all we did was just party on it. And then we were selling it, and then that became a different addiction. And then, so for the longest time, I was my 15 minutes of fame, you know what I mean? I was the man. I was the guy that everybody wanted to party with or go to or buy my shit from. Excuse my language. Buy the stuff. Because no one else had it.
Right.
And so I went from that, and I was still going to school at the time. And I just wasn't really interested in school. I dropped out. And then I went back, I dropped out, went back, you know what I mean?
Right.
And so, and the majority of the time when I went back, it wasn't for school, it was so I could sell more drugs
To the kids.
to the kids.
At the school.
Oh
at
my
school.
God.
Mhm.
Okay, so let me just translate
Yeah.
it here. So, آسکار گفتش که از پاد همون به شیشه رفت، به مواد دیگه رفت و شروع کرده بود. حالا برای اینکه بخواد پول داشته باشه که خودش مواد مصرف بکنه، شروع کرد به درست کردن شیشه و فروختنش. و مدرسه میمد بیرون، میرفت تو و گفتش که وقتی مدرسه میرفتم این نبود که بخوام مثلا درس یاد بگیرم، این بود که برم به بچهای دیگه این مواد رو بفروشم. الان میریم به یک از فصلهای این دیویدیمون با هم دیگه نگاه میکنیم و بعد برمیگردیم با یک مهمون دیگه هم صحبت میکنیم.
Glow,
Yay.
diesel, white, rocket fuel,
Power.
nose candy, yo-yo, Snow White,
Coke.
Dust.
Cocaine.
You have no clue what demons and problems that you're about to encounter when you decide to do coke.
Cocaine is manufactured from the coca plant.
There's a certain process where they extract the actual cocaine properties from the plant and they refine it down into a powder.
Even though it's basically considered powder form, when you buy it, it's still kind of clumpy because it comes off a block.
Cocaines can be cut with glass, it can be cut with Drano, just to get the users to get that first burn in their nose. So the rest of the night they're numb, they don't feel what they're sniffing. People from very young ages to senior citizens use cocaine. It's not prejudice.
It's considered a rich man's drug, but even teens can afford it at lower and lower costs. So once a person is addicted, the price skyrockets because they need more and more, and it gets more expensive to have the habit.
There's a lot of different ways to do this drug.
I just snorted it. Mostly for me, I smoked and snorted it.
You can smoke it, you can shoot it.
It can be injected into the bloodstream through IV needles.
I was 14 when I first tried coke.
The first time I did cocaine was when I was 16 years old.
I was 18 years old.
Just going to like house parties and hanging out with friends.
I was with a bunch of friends. They were all doing ecstasy and coke and smoking pot, drinking.
I was at a high school party where there was some older guys there and they had cocaine.
And of course the older people, they're the cool people and they were going to the parties and they were doing the drugs.
I was in such a crowd of like intelligent people and people with lots of money cocaine came into the picture. And it was just one big kind of a party drug.
You know, I'd do it once every month or so, and then as it progressed, I'd be doing it every other weekend.
Within an 8-month span, I went from trying it a few times to becoming a weekly user, to eventually a daily user, and then to becoming a dealer.
Once you start taking that stuff, like I said, you feel like a rock star. You feel invincible. You feel just nothing can touch you.
You can make conversations, you're happy, but that's only for about a half hour.
The night I first took it, I wanted more that entire night.
With Coke, it's like instant.
Because it only lasts for 15, 20 minutes, and then you gotta have another line.
And then I need some more because I'd start coming down.
So you're just constantly chasing this high that you'll never achieve.
I was leaving work every half an hour to go buy more.
I was working like 14, 16 hours a day. I started using more and more cocaine to keep working, to make more money.
You spend all your money on it, one way or another.
It was so expensive that I'd only do enough until I ran out and I couldn't afford to buy more. That's when I realized I had absolutely no control over myself, and the cocaine was pretty much controlling me.
You do more so you can feel normal, and you don't feel normal ever on the drug.
I couldn't complete anything I started. Couldn't have a conversation with anybody. I couldn't look anybody in the face.
Your body craves more and more, but when you're at that point, the more you take, the more dysfunctional you become.
It's like quicksand. Once it gets its grip, it just starts sucking you in. And the harder and harder you try to pull yourself out of it, the deeper and deeper you go.
I'd wake up in the morning, if I didn't have it, the first thing I'd think of was a 9mm in my head.
Thought I needed it to get up. I thought I needed it to go to sleep or anything like that.
The couple days after you do cocaine, your muscles ache, your sinuses are real bad, your nose starts bleeding.
My nose hurt so bad from doing it that I couldn't sleep without having lines set out for me, so that when I would wake up throughout the night, I could do some just to numb the pain.
I would go through extreme hot and cold flashes, very severe night sweats.
Like I can't sleep, feeling disgusting.
The chills, the shaking. I was doing so much cocaine that I was actually hallucinating.
And depending on the time, actually sit there and talk to myself because I was going crazy.
You know, seeing things, constant paranoia, constant depression, suicide attempts.
So it went from being a party drug to a drug that kept me holed up in a dark room by myself, scared of my own shadow. I was in the business, a family business with my father, paying the bills. I was in accounts payable for him. I basically advanced myself $30,000 within 3 months and almost put the business under.
I was making a lot of money at the time. Everything was on plastic and credit cards. Everything else was going to cocaine. Probably upwards of about $600,000-$700,000.
I started shooting it. I missed the vein and actually went into a nerve. And it blew up my whole entire arm and hand. My arm just kept on inflating more and more. Thought I was gonna die.
I flatlined, and then they all came rushing in, and they took the paddles and hit my chest and everything. They brought me back again. After I'm out of the hospital, there I am, doing it again.
When I got to a party and a guy walked in, I didn't know the guy. I beat him, put him in the hospital. You know, beat him until he was unconscious. You know, just because I didn't know who he was. Yeah, I was paranoid.
There was a kid that had just gotten out of prison, and he knew I was hard up for money, and he wanted me to go rob these people. We all went in there in masks with guns. We taped them and tied them up and took everything they had.
A good friend of mine, I went through middle school, high school with him. He tried to rip somebody off at a high school party, and they shot him in the stomach with a .40 caliber, and he's dead now. 20 years old.
I can't feel that happiness that I remember feeling before I did drugs.
My memory is nowhere near what it used to be. I have a hard time remembering certain names, certain faces, certain places.
I actually had like numbness in my leg for a year because I was shot in my leg. My foot's still damaged from that.
Damage to my arms and my veins and stuff.
When I blow my nose, I still have blood and other tissues coming out.
And I actually gave myself an ulcer that ruptured.
Heart attacks, strokes, tears in your heart, nothing good.
You know, everybody always talks when they're young, oh, I'll try anything. I want to try something new. I do it, but it's just not worth it.
I wish I had never done it that first time. A social acceptance wasn't worth it. The girl wasn't worth it. the pain and agony to my family wasn't worth it.
If you think you control it, you can't. It can't be controlled. It will take a hold of you quicker than you ever thought possible.
I'm 34 years old now. I feel that my 20s were, completely unproductive and a waste.
I don't know anyone who has just done cocaine one time and had it not affect their life in a negative way.
It might seem fun right now, and you might be thinking you're having a good time, but there's no such thing as an old drug addict. You're gonna kill yourself.
You're choosing death over life, and that's the reality of the decision you're making.
سلام دوباره به دوستان. کلاله طبیب زاده هستم. برنامه تلنگر این الان فصل حقیقت در مورد کوکائین بود در دیویدی The Truth About Drugs، حقیقت در مورد دارو و مواد مخدر، و من اینا رو سایت آینه خواهیم گذاشت و من هر وقت اینا رو گوش میکنم دوباره هنوز خیلی برام بیشتر واقعی میشه که چقدر همین که میگفت هیچ ارزششو نداره، اون دوست دختر ارزششو نداشت، اون پذیرفته شدن ارزششو نداشت، چون واقعا یه قدم داریم به سوی یه راهی برمیداریم که واقعا ممکنه اگه جون سالم به در ببرید زندگیتون رو خیلی کمتر میکنین، ناسالمتر میکنین و چقدر صدمه به خیلی دور و بریاتون میزنین به علاوه خودتون و ممکنه هیچ وقت نتونین از اون زندگی برگردین و زندگی نرمال داشته باشین. و من امروز مهمون دیوید سانچز که هفته پیشم با هم بود دوباره اینجا هست با که یک مدیر یک خانه سلامت خانه ام در لس آنجلس هست با 2 نفر که بهشون داره کمک میکنه از اعتیاد بیان بیرون. با آسکر صحبت کردیم و حالا با موریس هم صحبت خواهیم کرد. So thank you, Oscar. We're going to be going back and forth. So Maurice, thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me.
So can you tell us a little bit about yourself, what you've been through, and what you're going through now?
My name is Maurice. I am 40 years old. I've been going through this my whole life. I think the first time I used drugs, I was going into 6th grade.
So we're 11?
I don't know the age going into 6th grade, probably 11 or 12. And I found my mom's stash, and I thought it was marijuana. It ended up being PCP.
Oh, my God.
And so I've been dealing with addiction my whole life, from my mother to my grandmother to me, and it's just been a real never-ending cycle. And to this day, I'm still on a methadone program. I haven't used any real hard street drugs or anything in over 10 years. But I'm still forced to be on the methadone because it's just you just can't abruptly stop, and unless you had some amazing, medical team, and obviously I'm that's out of my grasp right now.
Right.
So that's where I'm at right now. I've lost everything due to drugs.
Well,
everything.
Good for you for being clean for 10 years. That you haven't done any hard drugs for 10 years.
But it's not clean, they say, and it still affects me very much. I'm on a very short leash. My health is terrible. It's just nothing. It's not a good thing,
Right.
I really want to stop, but it just takes time.
Right. Well, you're on the right path.
Thank you. I try to be. I mean, these guys help me out, so it's all good.
Well, David is good. I'm sure David, if you stick with David, I'm sure he's gonna help you get through this.
Yeah.
It's a matter of sticking with him.
Of course.
Wow. So let me translate this a little bit.
Yeah.
So موریس 40 سالشه. گفت از اولین باری که شروع کرد با PCP مامانش بود که PCP ماده هست مثل ماشروم میمونه، مثل اسید میمونه. گفت فکر کردم پاته، ولی بعد فهمید که PCP بود و حدود 11 سالش بود و گفت از اون موقع دیگه تمام عمرش استفاده کرده. الان 10 ساله که ماده خیلی قوی استفاده نکرده، ولی وقتی آدم رو هروئین میره برای اینکه از هروئین بیاد بیرون قطع بکنه روی یه داروی به نام متادون میذارن که متادون خیلی میگن که حتی از خود هروئین بدتره، ولی خب یه داروی تجویزیه که میگن باید باشه که اون چیز فیزیکی حالت قطع مصرف فیزیکی هروئین رو کمک میکنه، ولی گفتش که سلامتیم اصلا خوب نیست و اصلا زندگی خوبی نیست و هنوز خیلی اثراشو داره میبینه. So Maurice, what other drugs did you, like what happened after you did that first time PCP and then what happened? What other drugs did you go to and what did your life become like?
After I did that, you know, I obviously I smoked weed. Like he said, you know, you go through the LSD phase in high school and the cocaine. And then I started using heroin. And that made me okay with me. And so I thought. And I ran rampant in Detroit. That's where I'm from. And my life became terrible. I wouldn't wish it upon my worst enemy, man. It's like you're like a slave to that needle, to chasing your drugs, whatever, you know. I watched my mom pass away. I watched my grandma pass away. Didn't deal with none of it. And now I'm in California alone, you know. And it's hard, but it's okay. I mean, I'm with some good people, so that's all I can really. That's my hope right now is I can help somebody else, so they don't have to go through what I've went through.
Right. Well, we appreciate that.
Thank you.
اهل دیترویت هست. گفت دیدم مادرم از دست دادم، مادر بزرگم از دست دادم و یه زندگی وقتی هروئین شروع کرد استفاده کردم با اون آمپول مثل اینکه برده اون آمپول میشی. هر کاری میکنی که بتونی بعد اون مقدار بعدی هروئین رو به دست بیاری که استفاده بکنی و گفت یک انقدر زندگی بدیه که برای بدترین دشمنم هم آرزوش نمیکنم. So I think, Oscar, you started because you were curious and you saw your brother. Is that the reason you started? One of the reasons I ask is because I want, you know, for our listeners or people who watch it to, you know, either they might be doing it or they might know kids. Like, what was the reason that you did it and you thought it was okay to use it? The first time.
Weed?
Yeah.
I was curious.
You were curious?
Yeah.
Okay. Maurice, how about you?
I was very curious, yes. Wanted to fit in, do what everybody else was doing.
Right. So people around you, I mean, I know your mom was, but like other friends around you, they were doing drugs?
Yeah, they were starting to dabble into marijuana, drinking, LSD, like all that, like I said.
Right.
And I just so happened to go a little earlier than them.
Right. I guess when people around you do it, you want to be like them. Be accepted.
Yeah, there was no father in the household, so it was just look up to your friend type thing, you know?
Right.
A lot of times, people, when they start using drugs because of they want to fit in, it's usually to somebody that is older than them and they look up to the person, or they see somebody that has a lot of stuff because of, you know, selling the drugs or whatever, and that's one of the main reasons that at a young age people start to be curious of that type of lifestyle. It's a lifestyle where you're not in bed at 8 o'clock at night and you're not home before the lights go out, and you know, if you have a family that's had them strict rules on you all the time, and you start seeing all your friends out there having fun and doing stuff, and you start hearing the stories the next day at school, we had this party and all these girls were there and all this stuff was there, your mind automatically wants to know wants to be part of that.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because when you're young, your parents have all this influence over you, but when you start school and you start hanging around with other people, then they start taking that influence that your family has on you, and you start levitating to and doing what they're doing or what they want you to do or what you think that they want you to do.
Right.
And that's how we fall into that trap of, wow, you know, you're doing it, you're kind of okay, it looks like you're having a good time, so let me try it. I want to have a good time also, because I don't want to be at home in bed when I'm supposed to be in the house before lights go out and sit at the table and have dinner with the family, because you guys are out having fun. Why can't I do that?
Right, that seems boring.
And it seems boring. And so we you know, our minds tell us, man, we want to go have that fun also.
Right.
You know, and that's what all of us fell into at a young age. You know,
Right.
we seen somebody else doing something that we thought was interesting, or we thought that was fun, and we thought, well, we want to do that too, even though it goes against what our family values or what our parents are trying to teach us, the personal boundaries in our lives and things like that. That's just what happens.
Right, right. Let me try to translate a little bit of that. So پرسیدم که برای چی شروع کردین؟ دوتایشون برای این بود که کنجکاو بودن و میخواستن با آدمای محبوب دیگه مثلا مثل اونا باشن. به قول معروف پیر پرشر بود وقتی و دیوید داشت توضیح میداد که وقتی میبینی که بقیه فان دارن، مهمونی میرن، پارتی میرن، بهت میگن که دخترها اونجا هستن، میتونی تا ساعت 12 شب مثلا بیرون باشی، پارتی باشی. وقتی هم به سن تینیجری میرسی، خب ترجیح میدی اون زندگی رو داشته باشی تا اینکه به خونه بمونی با مام و بابات شام بخوری و ساعت 8 یا 9 شب بری بگیری بخوابی. و برای همینه که کشیده میشن به اون جمعیت، به اون گروه. و برای همین خیلی مهمه، من اینو به پدر و مادر خیلی میگم که باید دوستای بچه‌هاتون رو بشناسین که هم باید تو زندگی بچه‌هاتون به قول معروف حاضر باشید، پرزنت باشین، باشون صحبت بکنید، ببینید چه مشکلایی دارن. چون خیلی اوقات مشکلای یه بچه 10 ساله 11 ساله ممکنه به نظر ما هیچی نیاد، ولی برای خودش مثل یه دنیا بزرگه و مثل یک عالمه و خیلی وزن داره سنگین روی شونه هاش. و اون مثلا اگه یه از دختری خوشش میاد، مثلا که دختر جوابش نمیده، اون ممکنه باعث بشه که طرف مثلا مواد بره که بخواد احساس راحتی بکنه اگه یک از دوستاش بهش اون ماده رو براش تهیه بکنه. برای همین ما باید بزرگسالا تو زندگی بچه‌مون باشیم، حقیقت‌ها رو خودمون پیدا کنیم که چی هست و به بچه‌مون این حقیقت‌ها رو بگیم. So basically I translated what you said, but one thing I also said, a message to parents is that they need to be present in their kids' lives, and how a lot of kids when they're young, because I think a lot of parents don't think kids could have any problems. Like, what problem could you have as a 9-year-old, as a 10-year-old? Whereas they could have a lot of problems. Like, it could be the fact that the girl doesn't, pay attention to them could be a huge problem for a 9-year-old or a 10-year-old. And that could be a reason that if somebody were to offer them pot to make them feel better, to say, okay, I'll do it.
Well, a lot of times, broken families are what's happening out there. I mean, all of us came from broken families.
Right.
And most people that turn to drugs, like we were talking about last week, are trying to get away from some certain type of feeling that is going on in their life. They continue to use drugs. I really want to make it a point that the lifestyle that we've all lived is not a joke.
Right.
You know what I mean? And it's not for people to just go, oh, it only happened to them.
No.
Or, this is something that's all around the world. We were just talking about how, in your country how it is, and all the way across the United States how it is, all the way to where we're at today how it is. This isn't something that is isolated in one certain area. It's not an epidemic, it's a pandemic.
Right.
So the life that we had to live because of this certain type of lifestyle was horrible. Right. We've lost everything. Even to this day, with all the stuff that I do with drug prevention and stuff, I can't walk into my family's house without being watched.
Right.
Like I'm going to steal something. You know what I mean? We can't, he has to make plans to go see his kid. Because of his drug use and that type of lifestyle that he lived, he's not even allowed to just go see his kid when he wants. It has to be something that's planned out with other people.
Right.
You know what I mean? And all the stuff that all the people that have passed away in our lives, all the people that have given up on us, all the people that have turned their backs on us and threw us to the wolves and all that kind of stuff and went on about their life, there's us that are kind of just left in the wind. You know what I mean? Sometimes we might have to sleep on the street. Sometimes we might get lucky enough to find a porch that's got an awning over it so we're not in the rain. All this stuff that we've had to go through, I want people to understand that this all started when we were young.
Right.
This isn't something that we decided to do when we were in our 40s. Oh, let me be a drug addict now. I had a good life. This is something that started when we were young and started because of that first time that we ever did drugs. Whether it was marijuana, whether it was alcohol, whether it was heroin, whatever drug it was, that's when it started, when we were babies.
Right.
Babies.
9 years old, I just can't imagine. 9 or 10, it's just...
And you know, okay, if you got a great family and your mother and your father are together, they've been together and they're going to stay together and everybody supports everybody, you know what I mean? But when we talk about, you know, families like what we had, these are broken families. These are families where you're getting tossed back and forth, back and forth, back and forth because they only want you on the weekend, they only want you on the weekend, they only want you on the weekday. They don't really care if you're going to school. They got too much other stuff going on.
Right.
You know what I mean? And this is the product of when you mix drugs, a broken family, and that type of lifestyle together. We're the examples of that.
Right.
And I could have brought 85 people in this room today that are living examples of what that type of lifestyle is and where it takes you and what it does to you and what it takes away from you.
Right, right, exactly. So دیوید گفت که همه‌شون یه چیزی که مشترک دارن اینه که پدر و مادرشون طلاق گرفتن و وقتی که پدر و مادر طلاق میگیره بچه سن جوون داره یه ویکند پیش این هستی یه ویکند پیش اون هستی هیچ قانون و قوانینی تو زندگیت نداری اون مشکلایی که داری اون ناراحتی که داری میکشی باعث میشه که حالا به دوستات بیشتر برات مهمتر میشه تو مدرسه که میری یا هر جا بدیه میگن که بیا اینو استفاده کن حالت بهتر میشه استفاده میکنن و اینکه دیوید گفت ما با وجود که الان ستایمون اینجا هستیم به نظر ممکنه که سالم بیایم ولی همه چیز رو از دست دادیم گفت من حتی اگه الان خونه فامیلام میرن هنوز منو نگاه میکنن که مثلا یه چیزی ندزدم و همشون از سن 9 سالگی 10 سالگی 11 سالگی شروع کردن و یه چیزی هست و این ادیکشن این اعتیاد یه چیزیه که همه رو میتونه همه رو شامل میشه به یه گروه پولدار یا بی پول ربط نداره من خودم هفته پیش با یه وکیل آشنا شدم که گفت برادر خانومش یه وکیل خیلی خیلی موفق بود و الان هوملس شده به خاطر مواد که اونم با پاد شروع کرده بود برای همین دوباره همش من تو این میگم برنامه خیلی تاکید میکنم بچه‌ها از سن کوچیکی دارن شروع میکنن از سن خیلی جوونی دارن شروع میکنن چون الان پاد به نظر میاد که هیچ مشکلی نداره ولی همه اینا از پاد شروع کردن به هروئین رسیدن و واقعا زندگیشونو به یه جوره از دست دادن که اون زندگی که میتونستن داشته باشن هیچ کدومشون ندارن و همشون میگن که ارزششو نداشت چیزی که من به بچه‌ها میگم وقتی میخوان این کارو بکنین ببینین ریسکش میارزه یا نمیارزه و خودتون تصمیم بگیرین که میخواین اون راهو برین یا نمیخواین اون راهو برین. So we're getting to the end of our program. I wanted to thank you all again for coming, but I'd like for each of you to give a message that you like to give to any kid or any parent that's listening.
Who's first?
My message would probably be to love yourself and love your family and your friends. In order to do that, you have to start changing your life around. It's really important that you change your life for the better because you do not want to experience all the suffering, loss, humiliation. You got something going on, that's good. Try to keep it.
Yeah, be drug-free.
Drug-free.
How about you, Maurice?
I would say to any kids, just don't try it, man, because before you know it, you blink your eyes and everything and everybody's gone. And that's a hard pill to swallow right there.
Yeah, well said.
Well said. So I would have to say that learning the truth about drugs and learning the truth about addiction and trying to see where that type of lifestyle will ultimately take you to. There's only three things that happen with people that are in their addiction. They're either going to die, they're going to go to some type of treatment center, or they're going to be in prison. That's it. They don't last long out on the streets. So if you're going to make that first decision, make sure that it's an educated one. Make sure
Right.
that you know what it is that you're putting into your body. You know, it's easy to find out, you can look it up, but make sure that you have the facts about what you're doing before you do it.
Right.
And that would be the message that I would have to give.
Well said. I'm gonna so همشون بیسیکلی گفتن که امتحان نکنید، با یه چشم به هم زدن از اون اولین امتحان میبینید که معتاد شدین و همه چی رو از دست دادین. حقیقت رو برای خودتون پیدا کنید. به پایان برنامه‌مون رسیدیم. خیلی ممنون که با ما بودید. امیدوارم که برنامه‌مون از این برنامه خوشتون اومده باشه. تا هفته دیگه شما رو به خدا میسپارم.
تلنگر با کلاله طبیب زاده.